Okay, oh, nice, I'm here myself. Okay, so yeah, hello, I'm Matīss, I'm from company Asia.ai, and I will just give a little talk about on how we are developing and how are actual AI agents. Yeah, maybe before I start, I can give a little bit introduction about myself and like what I'm doing here and what I'm like myself in general. Like I'm the person who I like to say I like to do crazy things professionally, which says I have like both developer experience working with like many like enterprise level Ruby on Rails applications and things like that. And also some kind of, I have a like grasping about business processes and things like that, so I can just bring together both business processes, development things, AI processes and things like that, so I can just work together with that. And on the free time, I'm driving performance cars, being an off-road driving instructor, so if you have also like chats about these things, you can surely come to me. I'll be glad to answer and maybe give some insights and nice roads to drive to. So yeah, I didn't know like how much do you know about the AI agents before my presentation. But I think I should have thought that there will be something done, as I'm the last one, and the whole topic of today is about AI agents. But even without that, I just made some pretty, I would say, nice slides, so I want to go over them, so like you will have to maybe look at everything once again. So the first thing actually I want to talk about is about AI agents and what are they, and like, are they just RAG bots, or are they something else, or are they RAG agents on steroids and things like that. So yeah. I will just like show it a simple diagram, which is the like the evolution of AI agentic tools. Like I think everyone has seen this picture and they know how it looks and what it represents, right? I don't know. Okay, yeah, let's continue. Like there wasn't that many, but like this is simply an evolution. This is a human. This is a primitive monkey. Yeah, like in the general, and everything in between is something is a part of the process, like a loading screen. So yeah, this is the first thing, like it's the very beginnings of the AI agent, things like that, those rule-based chatbots, which were actually quite bad, and the RASA-based chatbots, which are based on the intent of the documents, but they do not have like the power of AI or LLMs, and that resulted in things like this. And because they are losing the context of things, and they can produce quite interesting results because the bot has been programmed to do it this way. Yeah, and for someone it's great, so the bot is actually not lying. And then actually the AI came, like this the whole big green thing, everyone calls it, some say it was the release of ChatGPT and things like that, but then that's true, because like the next part was LLMs and they're actually developing, they're also like growing now today, but they're going towards more different approaches, more different platforms and being better and bigger in size. The next thing was RAG-based agents, RAG-based LLMs, which is like the augmented retrieval system for the custom GPTs to have like your own knowledge base and things like that. And the next part was AI agents. And maybe you can guess, like, if you see in the AI agents, like in the shape of AI agents, we see three persons. Like, what do you think? Which one are we now today? Like at this day, which one of three?
First left.
Yeah, it's the first left, like this one. Yeah, we are just at the very beginning. So about the future, like we actually don't know what that is, but it's something even better. Maybe some kind of superpower robots. The creativities are limited for this at this moment. So yeah, when you look at the AI agents, you can see the big difference about these, like the evolution, whenever something comes to it. Like the first one is LLMs. You just give a prompt answer, the LLM knows the language, and that's why the LLM was actually producing those errors on some mathematical equations and things like that, because it was not calculating, it was looking at the previously mentioned things which were something similar. Then came those custom LLMs like RAG-based agents, which had actually the context, and they knew a lot more. They knew more specific things. They can retrieve information from that base and work towards. And with the agent, there was a thing. The agent actually had something that it had hands, I would say, because there was actually a possibility to do actions on itself, which can be quite a big thing because it can actually replace humans, replace things, if used correctly. And we're actually at the very beginning of this, so we need to take a look and see how that looks. And yeah, about the agents and services and what they are doing. And this technology is actually being leveraged already. And there are actually things which are going towards the more modern AI agents, which are powered by LLMs. And actually the first secret is that some kind of type of AI agent was actually being used 4 years ago, and it was in manufacturing. Because as you see, all of those manufacturing devices, a lot of them actually were using AI models to calculate the process on how they're working and how they're sorting things. And this is actually quite a primitive AI agent. Like, this is the AI agent if we take LLM out of the equation. Because it had actually the same definition that it can do things on its own. It can work automatically based on the artificial intelligence, which are trained like custom models for those things. And there are actually many cases which is actually the quality control, you can check out what's wrong, and the thing is also robotics on the primitive level. Those also are like some kind of examples of AI agents. But actually, those agents were going to the digital space before this, because there are actually many problems, and one of them was computing power. Because for digital things, we can actually connect, and a lot more people can use it simultaneously. There was need a lot more computing power. The introduction of LLMs, because so there's actually human touch added to the interactions with AI agents, actually, and there was actually much easier to have a cheap labor to outsource those processes in like cold calling, email services, and things like that. You can always outsource Indians, and that also worked. And there were also things about legal problems that GDPR requirements were not allowing that to have like bots working towards your goals, and that was quite tricky. But now this is actually getting used, and these are actually some of the most popular AI platforms which are being used. And I don't know how about you, but I'm recently actually seeing a lot of Syndra advertisements on my social media. Like, have you seen some of them now? They had like those actionable thingies. Yeah, so, but don't check it out, mostly because I'm now talking, your phones are listening, you will now start seeing it, so thank me later. Yep. And these are other different ones you can check out. The ChatGPT is the most one, there are agent GPTs and things like that. And those platforms are always evolving, coming new ones, old ones are dying, and it's like quite a fast process nowadays. And actually this is, oh, I forgot that there's actually the slide in Latvian. I'm sorry, does anyone understand that? Yeah, that's good. And this is actually important that this AI adoption in the companies, that it says that it's actually evolving and being adopted much faster than any other technology before. Like the mobile phones and internet was not adapted as quickly as AI nowadays. And this means that this is actually done by research by McKinsey & Company, that if companies are actually not adapting AI agents, automating the process, they will be far behind in years after this, in comparison to the companies which are adopting that. It's like fast adoption, and it will not slow down in any time soon. And also another thing, there's a lot of money into this, because there's actually plans for governmental grants to give company money. It's actually to AI adoption for digitalization, things like that. This is actually quite a good place to have money from the government to automate the process of using AI in your company. And yeah, about specific AI agents now, because I have given a brief introduction, and maybe before we continue, there are some questions. Okay, then I will have to say. I think I also forgot to mention that if you have any questions, don't feel free to raise hand, interrupt me, like I like that. Ask on when I'm going, that'll actually gives me stuff. And this is actually my natural talking speed. I'm not stressed, actually, this is like my natural talking speed. But yeah, moving further, about different AI agents that are actually being used. These are on the eligible platform, which is from the company I'm working on. We are developing it. Like that's why I'm disclaiming this, that this will be like based on this information. So don't say that I'm biased, like, because I have the most experience and information about this one, so I can talk most about this. But there are many other companies offering similar solutions. So this is just an introduction, so you know what is possible. And then one of the most simple ones is like the AI client support for the chatbots. Like, you remember the great example of PayPal before? Yeah, would you like to receive something like that in that situation? Okay, someone likes that. Someone likes that. Yeah, but for the AI customer agents can actually using power LLMs, they can understand the context, and like they will not give like this kind of answer in this situation. And moving forward, like using generative AI in those LLM factoring, it is possible to retrieve much faster information. The next one is also for customer training, for the employee training. That let's say you have a company data or those boring fire risk emergency guidelines, everyone has to read and sign out. Now it's possible to upload them to the AI. The AI bot asks questions to the employees, and they actually give a score on how well the employees know the information on those guidelines. Yeah, would you like something like that?
No.
Yeah, but this is also actually possible in good way about company policies, tactics, and things like that. But this is actually a case, and I'm warning you, this might come to your workplace. Yeah, next one is for content creation. This is quite basic. ChatGPT does that. I will not spend much time on here. And the more interesting ones are document validation, especially for HR. Let's say you have like hiring process in the company. Some persons send in CVs, and you have defined their criteria for the person. The bot can actually look at the CV, and if there's some information missing, it's possible for a bot to actually ask all the clarifying questions to the candidate, like, hey, you maybe missed something about your experience in these years. What did you do then? And things like that. And based on the information, your criteria, the bot can actually say this candidate solely needs to be invited to the interview, or like you need to ignore it, that's it, not a fit, and send like not a fit email, and that's it. like automate all the hiring process, all of the manual labor based on this. And the same can also be applied for documents, procurements, for the governmental companies if you want to apply, and etc. Like your creativity is the limit in this case. Next one is like for outreach and lead generation. This is an example we have done for the real estate agencies that the bot can scrape like the most popular marketplace in Baltics, in Latvia at least. The SSLV, like I don't know, like this is like a bit of a side note, but I believe that SS.LV is the real unicorn of Latvia, not Printful. Like, because to have that page earn 10 millions a year, like, it's crazy. We need to applaud to them. But without that, the AI agent can actually check the listings, see the location, see the prices, look at the approximate price ranges in that place, and send offers in email to the seller and ask about that, how it is happening, and talk about, go through the deal to get like scheduled it to the real estate agent, or to schedule like the payments with like when you are actually negotiating a lower price and to buy them. So automate this process because no one likes to actually, I do not know any person who likes to go through the marketplace and actually call the marketplace, the property owners and to pitch them, ask them about a better price and things like that. Like the bot can do that for you, and that's like the goal of the AI agent. And evolving on this, it's coming soon, it's on the development, it's robocalls. So it's possible for a bot to actually be in place of hospital. Like say you go to the hospital, there's always a call happening, like they're asking whether it will be to your appointment. Yeah. The bot can do the same. And the bot in the next case, the actual can just not only ask the question and that's it, but also make the change to the calendar, cancel your appointment, reschedule it, and things like that. And it's actually applicable to many other places. Let's say for the water companies, when they ask like your water counter readings, the bot can do it easily and much cheaper than a person and much faster. And for much more, and for a lot more clients. It's more scalable in short. So like, it's possible, I just like want you to understand that with AI agents, it's actually quite possible to automate businesses, those mundane business tasks, which need to be done on a daily basis, to have like your business going on you, and have you only humans step in when it's needed. And like, now I want to go in a little bit more technical inside of this, on how they're built, and what's the architecture behind them, what are the possibilities, and what are like the technologies used. So the thing is that the first one is about structure. This is actually how the same bot is working, as I mentioned previously. It's like the most basic RAG structure about vector databases, about vector database, questions, prompts, clarifying questions, etc. And like, I think you might recognize the picture from before about the AI agent, how it looks. And it's actually quite known that AI agents, at least in our case, are not like LLM-centric. They are not just LLM wrappers. They're more likely relying on vector databases and context generation, and using LLMs just to define the answer. And the biggest power, I actually heard a question before about the data privacy. And this is quite a good topic because in our case, as we have worked with this, we are using open source LLMs, which can be hosted on our services. So if someone really needs that, we can offer to host your AI agents on your premises. And that's the thing. So you can ensure that no data is leaving you, like your company, if needed. And if you want to use cloud, you can say where are the servers physically located? Like where's your data happening? So you don't have to send the data to OpenAI or other big companies. But that means that the LLMs are not that central, they're just defining the answers, not searching through the information. And yeah, the database uses like the vector database, and it's used to work and find the data about the context, about what you're talking. I think everyone knows. Does people know here how vector database works? So, okay, yeah. I can quickly elaborate on this, that vector database basically, imagine like this will be a quite silly explanation, but let's say this is a vector. I think I need to find, let's say, user remote as a vector. And the user gives like a prompt or task to the agent, and the agent takes set context in place, and then actually moves a needle around based on many variables, like on the dimensions, like it's possible to have even 300-dimensional vector database, and looks for the matches. When the vector with the length and all of the dimensions actually match some point, this is the context, and you need to retrieve information about this from the documents. And based on this, the information gets retrieved, and the answer gets formulated to be sent back to the user. Or if not, they know vector like fully matches up to some certain degree, the clarifying questions need to be asked about the area in which the vector has landed. Have I made some kind of explanation of how it quickly works? Yeah. And now for the structure, yeah. Now we have seen this picture before, how it worked. And now it's actually, the AI agent is not like, the chatbot is not an AI agent. The AI agent is the platform or all of the logic underneath the chatbot. The chatbot is only the communication layer of this. And the communication layers can be many, like the web interface is a chatbot, social networks, WhatsApp, Telegram, email, API, voice API for the robocalls, and the actions and triggers for the case of AI agents which need to perform some actions, like any other integration. And using this, you need always to know that the chatbot itself is not a bot. That's just the place on how you interact with it, and you can always change that. Because in the end, it's just text input sent backwards and forwards to the client to see how it's looking and how it's working. And for the actions, this is actually a place where a lot of development comes in, because you can integrate with those agents using API, webhooks, and then you can build your own services on top of it, which have their own databases. You have your own workers, you have your own like triggers and user requests, or even your whole platform is based upon this, and you can actually ask different questions to the agent, to the bot, which gets trained to it, and then do fulfill the user task like automated outreach for, let's say, email marketing, completely automated. The platform can do that, schedule, get information, ask you requests, react to events which are happening. This is the place where actually your development and imagination comes into place. You can build your own business on top of it, let's say, however you want to take a look at this. And this is like the whole magic of the agent platforms. And for the structure, it's quite similar. You just host different typed agents into one platform, like in one house. They're living here, and you actually, as an admin user, can manage them, manage the information sources, the types, settings, and everything. Like, do they actually need to rely only on the information base they have? Can they serve the internet? How widely they need to perform, in what manner they need to respond, like they need to be like the basic robo-bobo, by bobo, I forgot. Robo-bobo, they need to be like a gentle robo-bobo, and etc. Like you can describe your own agent's personality in there, how it should respond. And as a user, yes, statistics, performance, and everything, which is needed. And yeah, this is cool, but let's say you want to make your own. You want to make your own platform or your own something based on the AI agents. You need to work on this. And the first thing is actually also the disclaimer I mentioned previously, that like this is the case in our platform, but I would like to say that it is possible many other different platforms use it online, so just take a note of this on how it's done. The first thing is actually find a problem, what you want to automate. Think about your business tasks, and actually the big question I always say to the clients when they're coming in to find those solutions to development and think of them, and actually asking them, do you really need AI for that? Because I have seen many cases when people are just wanting to implement AI in place that doesn't belong. Like a good example I always using is that, let's say you want to solve a quadratic equation. You do not need an AI for that. Like you can use formulas and algorithms to get the answers much more precisely and even faster. You can use AI will always be a perfect approximation to this. It will just look for similar answers, sometimes you get one answer, sometimes you get a little bit off. And it's not like as reliable as like a rigid algorithm based to solve the problem, if it's possible. For AI, you can use like more brief questions, like ask, let's say you have a question like how much a liter of milk costs, and based on this, yeah, the AI can say the costs in this range based on these factors, but actually depends on this. And that's the answer the AI can provide. And that's always you need to think about this when developing something or you want to work with AI agents, that they are not strict algorithms. Yeah, this is like the platform. It's actually paid, but I give you a promo code if you want to try this out. So you can just do it freely and test out your agents. So if you want to take a picture, you can do that now. Like you can log in with promo code, remove the card, and that's fine. You'll have like time, 1 month to use it and play around. That's completely fine. And if you have any questions, then I will just publish the presentation afterwards, so you can take a look if you really want something. And yeah, then when you get in, you just need to create your own agent, set it up, to choose one of the types. I showed you there are actually many more under development, let's say for the robocalls and the voice API agents, which are giving the more like voice feel, and how it should interact, like it's for the training, for internal search, and what the agent should do. And then you can actually set up the questions. I love this small talk. I'll ask clarifying questions. So all of the settings you actually want to create your own personal. It's like in the game, when you have like the starting menu, you have all of the options to create your own like character, and you can define briefly on how it looks, how it works, what it does, what are the personality traits, and things like that. And this is same for agents, like another virtual employee you own. Next step is strategic, to go over this knowledge base, to add it based, starting from documents and pages and SharePoint integrations. And coming soon also I can say the integrated database users, that you can actually attach database, create a user for the bot, so the bot can actually look on dynamic data. In one database, like a good example was interesting one for the products database for an e-commerce market. They have a huge products database, the bot can integrate this and actually in WhatsApp give suggestions to customers what they want to buy. The question they can inquiry for the e-shop in WhatsApp. so quickly as that, thanks to the AI agents. Yeah, when you have given your knowledge base, the context for it, like what you have uploaded, it's like some kind of landing page, internal document, things like that. This source actually needs to process into the vector database, as I mentioned previously. So the bot can perform this in quite a recent time. And the next thing is to give it some friends, add some integrations. They're actually the regular ones, but for you, if you actually want to create your own agent or something you want to play with around with this, use the WebSockets or REST API. And then on top, you can build using whatever technology you want. You want to use Ruby on Rails, Python, Flask, Node.js, Next.js, anything you imagine. As long as it can work with API, you can work on that or integrate your own existing systems. And to keep on playing around this and actually helping your AI agents, your own AI business, if you really want your own AI products, like no string attached on this. And then the next step is to test and monitor it to see how it looks, attach the integration, see if there are actually many facts missing. The bot can, if the bot detects it, there's some kind of missing holes in its knowledge, you can actually say, hey, I do not know anything about this, maybe teach me. And then based on this, you actually also work towards improving the bot and making your service and agent much more precise. And the last step for this is actually to monetize it. If you create your own agent, actually solves a problem, you can freely monetize it and provide services based on your own platform. And some ideas we have heard of, and there are people working this like the digital subject tutors, tutoring, like online tutoring mentorships, like let's say the tutor for law students based on AI agent. That's completely doable. The same for automated emails, as I said, the messaging bots, the outreach for the same ss.lv for the rental properties, and more, like your creativity is the limit in this place. You can make your own AI agents to work on this. And yeah, I think I was actually quite fast, quite on time. So this is actually quite it. That's why I'm like, I'm speaking quite fast and I'm getting through slides quite fast, but sure, I'm open to the questions if you have them.